What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Scott Lewis, apartment gamer and more. I'm gonna do a little talking about the Brooklyn Nets, Joe Tsai. We're gonna go from the thumbnail. Are there any sleepers in the NBA draft? Take it as a joke, and NBA rebuild ranking. Joe Tsai on the bottom line of the Brooklyn Nets isn't money. Could you believe that? I can believe it. I believe he wants to try to win. So, um, let's take a look at Joe Tsai. He was on CNBC this week talking about AI and Chinese economy, but also the Brooklyn Nets in the Barclays Center. So let me bring that up. Okay. Joe Tsai was talking about how winning is more important than money. And I kind of agree with him. I kind of agree with him. Let's take a look at it. Joe Tsai, the bottom line, Brooklyn Nets isn't money. It's the finals playoff winning. It's finally playoffs and winning. So, I mean, this was Thursday. Last week was another big day for the NBA. The Boston Celtics sold ownership. But other than the Celtic news that they sold got a new owner, Joe Tsai talked about the Brooklyn Nets. For a sports owner, the return season after the season is winning. Every season, you're trying to win the championship, so you want to win games, right? Joe Tsai said in remarks published, you're not looking at the income statement of the team from season to season, so I guess the final playoff for me is less financial, even though the financial aspects are important. I have to make sure that the bottom line investment can make sense. But at the end of the day, it's through the love of sports. I have a passion for sports. That's why I invested in this teams. You got to remember that Joe Tsai invested in Miami too. Miami Dolphins, I think 3% or 4%. The Nets, for a variety of reasons, have made a lot of money for Tsai and his family investment office, Blue Pool Capital. If you look at the profits and loss over the years since Tsai brought in, indeed, Forbes report that in 2023, that Brooklyn was the only NBA club to lose money, about $5 million, but by 2024, the team had earned a profit of $43 million. So when he bought the team, they were losing money at that time. So, but by 2024, that was 1 year swing. In late July, however, the Shah sold off 15% of the Nets in Barclays Center and New York Liberty for $688 million. 15% at $688 million. That's not bad. Most of that is being used to pay off debt, but BSE Global, the South Brooklyn holding company, also announced a 5-year, $100 million plan to improve the 12-year-old Barclays Center. So they have plans to improve the Barclays Center, probably in a year or two. So this is going to really look good. I mean, if they can put good product in that stadium with the improvements, it can be a site for a lot of things, you know. If that'll be good for the NBA, be good for Brooklyn, and it'll be good for the league. It'll be definitely good for the league. Joe signed them. His purpose, I think, and by saying that he wants to win and put good product out there, that's just going to make the profits even better. Especially if you take that money and invest into the arena. That should do good for the Brooklyn Nets and the NBA and the NBA. What else? Are there sleepers in the NBA draft? I was looking at the draft recently, and I wanted to bring up some stuff about who I think might be out of the top 20 in the draft actually be the best player or the best prospect in the draft for any team, just any team, but the one player on one college draft that has the biggest upside. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you got to go from the top 1 to 3, 1 to 5. But my sleeper is Jeremiah Fears. For 17 to 18-year-old to be averaging 17 points, 4 plus 4, and to do it so effortlessly, I don't see nobody else even in the top 30 that does what he does, to be honest. At his 17, just turned 18 years old. The rest of them 19, 20, you know. But he is 17 years old, so just turned 18. Jeremiah Fears. He shows me the quickness that a lot of them, even the players defensively, he probably, because he's smaller, he's 6'3", 6'2". Let's bring his numbers up. Let's bring Jeremiah Fears' numbers up. Let's get rid of this. Jeremiah Fears. Let's see. Okay. Jeremiah Fears. Jeremiah Fears. Okay. Let's see if I can bring him up. They have him further down in the mock drafts. Jeremiah Fears we're looking for. I'm going to put the link up, so if anybody want to get in, I guess. I'll put the link in. Jeremiah Fears. I think he's further down. The chances of the Nets getting him, you never know with this draft. He's in the well. Queen, I think he's Eagle. I think he's in the top. There you go, 7. Jeremiah Fears, 6'4". They got him 6'4". I really think he's like 6'2". 7. Worst ranking 12. I doubt if he even come out of the top 10. He's a mixed bag defensively, which is the thing that scouts say. But I always say defense is a thing that it's a will thing. You know, you can play good defense. You just gotta want to play good defense. It takes a lot of work. He's not exactly a lockdown defender, but his quick instincts and active hands have helped him average 1.9 steals per game. Well, he get about 2 steals a game. However, he's a mess off the ball and often gets targeted by opposing offense. Well, he's really not 6'4". He's really not 6'4". And he's light. He weighs what? I doubt if he weighed 180. I think he weighed 180 pounds. He needs to improve his focus and effort on that end of the floor. Fears is one of the most polarizing prospects in the draft class. Some scouts see him as a high risk, high reward player with the potential to be a Monte Ellis type scoring first guard or even a Jamal Murray style combo guard who can run an offense. Well, he's a scoring guard. He definitely could score. He could definitely get to where he want to get to on the court. That's not a problem. He's shifty and he got good handle and he can shoot. So he's a great shooter. He's a decent shooter. And it works. I mean, I could see him being in the top 10. So, Jeremiah Fears is definitely one of those type of players that you really need to, pay attention to in this draft. I think he's going to do well in the NBA. He just has to work on his defense because they definitely going to test you. Would he be exactly a project in work for most teams? No, he probably will be. He probably will be. A lot of people have a lot of upside on Trey Johnson. It kind of reminds me of Cam Thomas as far as his scoring ability, but he's not defensively. He's okay. He doesn't move his feet well enough, and I've seen that in games where quicker guards got around him real easy. Too easy. But, he's definitely a great scorer. And you can, like I said, defense is one of those things that you can work on. It's an effort thing. It's a real effort. You have to put a lot of effort and a lot of work in your defense, which kind of takes away from your offense because you put in a lot of energy in your defense. But everybody know how I feel about Ace Bailey, which is definitely somebody I have high hopes that we can land. Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, both of them. I really like Dylan Harper too. One thing about Dylan Harper that I like is that his body is already developed. It seemed like he's already NBA ready. And you see it in this game. He plays defense pretty decent because I really think he is the height they say he's 6'6". Yeah, and he got a little weight to him, close to 200. I think he's like 210 or 205. I could be wrong. I have to look that up. Matter of fact, let me look that up. Let me look Dylan Harper up. Let's look at Dylan Harper's stats. Dylan Harper. I think he's 215. I was right, 210. I said 210. 215. He's from New Jersey, which is kind of cool that he would come to Brooklyn. He'll be close to home. Yeah. He definitely will come off the board real high. He's one of those players that I think is going to translate really well in the NBA, and he'll have a productive career. I would love to have him at Brooklyn. But as far as sleepers are concerned, to me, I think Jeremiah Fears on the right team would be a great fit. On the right team, though. So, I want to talk a little bit about tanking. And when we look at the actual standings, we see. Let's bring this up. Bring this big so I can see it. The standings is the Nets are 12th. They will be the 5th. Spurs at 30. So they better than us. Pelicans and the Jazz. 76ers and the Nets. And the 76ers, they should be ashamed of themselves. They shouldn't even be down here. I don't even see why they're here. And that's the point I wanted to make, the tanking. What teams do to try to get into the draft, high in the draft pick. They are, you can tell they're tanking. It's a shame. It's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yep, that's terrible. That is terrible. The 76ers are 23 and 47 with that team. They just packed it all in. They made sure that they can get down. I don't even know how they even passed us, but they did. So the Hornets and the Wizards. So it should be the Nets, Hornets, and Wizards in the East. And in the West, it's just the Pelicans and the Jazz. The Spurs have no business down here, but they playing a fence because they actually want to get into that top 10. So for them, they trying to make that mega team. I don't see any way we can get around 76ers the way they tanking. I mean, we can go below them, but they'll be right there. And the Raptors passed us as we predicted last week. So I look at it as the league need to really pay attention to these teams that's tanking. But to me, the fines are not severe enough for them to, like, $100,000 is nothing for them teams. They'll pay it. They'll pay it. If you're making $43 million, you pay 100 grand. That's like a $20 bill to them. They have no business down there. And they definitely tanking now. Because they last couple of games, let me see, they lost to the Thunder, they lost to Spurs. They played the Pelicans. The two teams are going to be fighting for that last spot. Oh, man. They play the Hawks, which they should win. They lost to the Rockets. They beat the Mavericks. But the Mavericks are in trouble. They just That was a bad move for them. They just in bad shape. They lost to the Pacers. They lost to the Raptors. They lost to the Hawks again. I mean, they just been tanking. I might see 3 wins in the past. Unbelievable. The Nets even beat them. Everybody beat them. They just was on a tankathon. It's ridiculous. The league need to really do something about that. Let me look at the West. Phoenix is self-destructing, and the Mavericks are self-destructing. The Kings ain't going nowhere. Well, they might make the playoffs. Both of them make the play-in. Trailblazers. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But of all the teams that's in this final tank thing where they, positioning themselves in a draft, the Sixers are the ones that stand out the most as the most egregious team to be tanking. So, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about okay. Let's move this out the way. Okay, let's take a look at NBA rebuild rankings. And that's something I was looking at before. Let me see if I can bring it up. NBA rebuild. Rebuild rankings. And among the 11 teams, various stages, respectively, the Spurs are the best position for a long run, according to everybody. Has the Spurs doing really well in the draft because they have a generational piece already in Wemby. So for them to get anything in the top 10 will kind of look good. They can work with that, and the way they build is slow and steady at this point. I think the changing of the guards in the NBA is about to change. It's, LeBron and Steph and are getting older. And they probably be retiring soon. So I can see a movement in the way, these teams are. You can see like how OKC is. They have their own issues. That's one thing about drafting a lot of draft capital and, having a lot of young players is that you got to eventually pay them. You got to pay these players. And once you start paying them, it's with these small markets, it's end up some of them is going to fall through the cracks to other teams. You're going to make trades. They're not going to pay everybody. But the CBA should be changing again. So, whether it be in their favor or not, a team like OKC, you can just sit back and watch and wait because they have a lot of draft capital. What are you going to do with all that draft capital? What are you going to do? So, teams like the Hornets and the Wizards, number 1 and 3, respectively, in the rebuild ranking. Yeah, Charlotte Trailblazers and Bulls are in there, but they should be 10th and 11th as most people, around the bottom of the top 10. So, yes, I could see the Spurs being one of the teams that, will benefit from this draft and any other future drafts. Well, eventually you got to start winning. Eventually, as you draft, as a team, you got to put a product out there that could sell. I mean, you could put a product out there and have a terrible season and it still sells. That is true. I watch teams do it. Like the Knicks. Put out terrible product for a long time. Tickets never went down. Not one time. I have a big following. The Spurs ain't did bad neither. Spurs ain't do bad. They did not do bad. So, I mean, those teams are going to make money. Some teams are just going to constantly make money regardless whether they put crap out there or they put out a good team. So everybody don't have that luxury. I'm hoping that like what Josiah said made sense. And he pushes for exactly that, winning. People want to see a winner, especially in New York. So winning solves a lot of things in sports. People, you got to earn that respect. It's an earned respect thing. So, okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Hopefully somebody would come on and have an opinion about it. Whether they feel like Jeremiah Fears is that dude in this draft, the sleeper dude that, I personally think if he gets on the right team, he'll do wonderful. Okay. Somebody that doesn't need defense shouldn't be a problem. Can you imagine him on OKC? That scoring would be outstanding. Yeah, just leave a comment in the comments. I'll read the comments. What you think, how this draft is going to work out. We've been watching a little bit of the college games. So leave a comment. What you think? Jeremiah Fizz or what? Should Brooklyn go for it? Or Trey Johnson? I know I always preach Derek Queen. But that's some of them bigs are going to fall back. Not all, some. So, going to get a big in the middle in the first round. But can you get that guard that's going to give you that pop? Whether they defense is weak or not, can they come off the bench and give you something? Something. Some people say this is a weak draft. When they started the year, it wasn't weak. People was talking about, how great this draft is going to be. What happened? What happened? Flag wasn't good enough? Overestimated his abilities? I think it's a great draft. Be honest with you. The first 10, 15 is outstanding. Not a superstars, but could be. Or a star. Could be. Definitely great role players. Could be on the championship team. So, leave a comment. Like and subscribe. Leave a message. Tell me what you think. Who you like. All right. This your boy Scott, Apartment Gaming. More like and subscribe. Peace and love.